So you said you went from 1 million a year, 10 million a year. Then
that was the craziest year.
15, the 10 mil?
Oh yeah, because I mean it was 10x growth.
Yeah,
I mean, dude, I want to say pretty much from 25 to about 28. I mean, I was just grind mode. In fact, I remember, I feel bad about it now, but it was my girlfriend's birthday and I forgot it was her birthday. So that's obviously strike one. So strike two is I in my family, birthdays aren't that big a deal. In hers it is. And so I scheduled a dinner and I'm like, oh, I'm a good boyfriend. Like, we're good. Like, scheduled dinner is no problem. So I work until dinner, go to dinner, come back, and I go straight back to working, and I didn't think anything of it. And that was my life. But I was so it was
the birthday dinner, you just didn't acknowledge what it was?
Well, I did the dinner, and then we came back, and she's expecting we're going to spend more time together, you know, maybe like have some intimacy. And I'm like, no, I'm going to go work. And I went back to work, you know. So I would say for those 3 years, it makes sense why it scaled so fast because I was just an absolute psycho. Like, I was just doing 10x output on everything. It was like Grant Cardone would have loved me. I would have been his poster boy child, but like 10x, 10x. But yeah, so I mean, that's really why it scaled so much. But I think that year was so crazy because 1 to 10 is a lot crazier than 10 to 15 or 15 to 20. I mean, it's like, it was just so much growth.
Literally
so fast.
10x.
Yeah.
So at some point you had to build a team, right?
Yeah.
You mentioned you had your brothers working with you. You mentioned you got up to like even 100 people at the company.
Yep.
So what did that look like? Like, for people out there in the audience, how do you go from kind of grinding on your own to building a team around what you're doing? Well,
so the two first hires I had were my brothers. So that was a blessing just because you knew you could trust them, right? Yeah. And my dad is one of the hardest working people I knew. I think when I was a child, I thought what he did was normal, but then I started meeting grown adults. I was like, oh, my dad's like crazy in a good way. Like he just did whatever it took to provide for our family because he was a teacher. So he had to do extra stuff to pay the bills. Like, you know, 40 grand, 50 grand is not enough for 7 kids, right? So he would always do like power washing, insurance, and like all this other stuff because he loves teaching. He genuinely loves it. So my brothers came in. First one was a coach. Other one was a sales rep. And we just grinded. And so what helped me was like the first hire I needed was a coach, just get all the clients off my plate so we could scale more.
Like a CSM, essentially.
Correct. And then I actually hired, I don't know if you guys know her, but there's a girl named Amber Morningstar. She's a good friend of mine. And she actually found a couple of my first messengers, which are like setters. So I had them, and then my brother Gentry came on. So really, with 4 people, you can scale to about 100K-ish or so, right? I mean, a month, you don't need much more than that. So once I kind of had that set team that was solidified with a manager or so, I had a lot more time to start team building. Big mistakes I made in hiring was just like not asking good questions and not understanding culture is really important. And culture really is, it's not these words you say, it's really how people act, right? So if you took your top guys and you listed out their best qualities, that to me is your culture. Yeah, right, that's your culture, and that's what you want in your team, right? So mistakes I made was hiring for potential, not experience. At the end of the day, potential, you hire for potential in the beginning of your business because you can't afford experience. Yep. So you hire potential. But once your company gets to a certain point, it's hard as the owner to go, well, I've done this in the past, it'll still work. It doesn't. You have to start hiring people who've actually been managers, who've actually been CEOs, who've actually been COOs.
At what point did that happen for you? Because we're still in the I would say the phase where we're hiring a lot of people based on potential. Like they have experience. All of our sales rep have previous experience. But where did that?
I want to say, like, I mean, obviously the bigger you get because the more money you can pay, right? Yeah. But I would say, like, for me, it was really starting to be like $300,000 a month. Like $300,000 a month is where I finally got like a real COO. And at the time, it was funny. I brought him in to do YouTube ads, and then I realized he looked at my business. He's like, "Bro, your business is a shit show." He's like, "Where's all your stuff?" I was like, "Oh, it's just a Google Doc." I had no project management. Yep. And he was like, wow, dude, I'm impressed you've grown to this size just with that. But he had experience running companies. So that was like kind of a blessing in disguise. The biggest issues I've had is like when I bring on a sales rep who's really hungry and he's got the drive, but they haven't done sales, it's not bad. It's just if I can find someone who's actually been experienced, and it doesn't even have to be remote sales. You find a guy who's done 250 to 300 a year doing like in-person sales or like having to go to office. Dude, they love remote sales. And they're like, they're so easy to teach because the nuances like tonality and stuff like that, they get it. It's just the strategy. And so I actually brought in a new guy this week that he's closed like quadruple the business. And yeah, I've just seen over and over again, you can start someone from scratch, but it's harder. And so what happens is you start getting irritated or frustrated as the owner, but it's really your own fault because you hired the wrong person. Yeah. You know what I'm saying? So hopefully that makes sense.
Absolutely. Hey guys, if you enjoyed this short clip, check out the full interview here. And if you want to see more clips from this episode, check it out right here.